Hello friends, very good morning to all of you. So today we are going to talk PF54 part 5. So we have completed that authorization code stealing and the token part in the PF54 part 4. Now we are going to PF54 part 5, that is theft of authorization codes. So let's begin, we can discuss more. Part 5 is theft of authorization codes. So it's a very small session, but let's quickly check the slide. So if the attacker hijacked the authorization code that we have seen, like when you have allowed the subdirectory validation of the redirect URI, and then somehow through the using referrer your authorization code is hijacked. Now let's see what happened using that. It's talking about when in this session. So if the attacker hijacked the authorization code, can they steal anything such as the resource owner person information, as email, contact information, and so on? Not quite yet, right? Remember that the authorization code is still an intermediate step between the OAuth client and the access token. Right? What we have seen in the auth code flow and the PKC. That's the intermediate part, the authorization code. What is the final goal of the attacker? Is to trade the authorization code for an access token. That means to go for a token call by passing that authorization code with the client credentials and then get an access token. To trade the authorization code for an access token, the client secret is needed, and this is something that must be closely protected. But if the client is a public client, that's a native application or the mobile application on those things, it will have no client secret, and therefore the authorization code can be used by anyone. With a confidential client, an attacker can either try to maliciously obtain the client secret or attempt to trick the auth client into performing a sort of CSRF similar to what we have seen in the previous section. Correct. So that's the thing, like if it is a public client, it will have no client secret, and therefore the authorization code can be used by anyone. True. Whereas in case of the confidential client, the attacker can either try to maliciously obtain the client secret or attempt to trick the auth client into just performing a CSRF similar to what we have seen in the previous section. So if someone can get hijacked your authorization code, in that case also, it's not something that the attacker can get an access to the access token, because the final goal of attacker is that to get the access token. Then only the attacker can just call some APIs and get some resource information. So that something is not easy, right? Whether it's a public client or the confidential client. In public client nowadays, people are mainly using the PKC. So in PKC, you know, right, you have the dynamic client secret, or you can say the code verifier and the code challenge method, what we have seen in the previous section. So that is something again the protected, right? So it's not something attacker can do, again that part. And you have the like CSRF, you have the state parameter to do the validation. So again it will stop there also. Whereas in case of confidential client, yeah, it's a secret is like stored in the server, the application server. So it's not something like client, the attacker can get an access. Maybe attacker can try some method, but yeah. So by getting an access authorization code, it's not something attacker can do. But yeah, if attacker have already something like in the plan or by some way it can get an access to the secret, yeah, it's a risk then. But yeah, it's something not very easy, because it's a for the confidential client, the secret is stored properly, handled properly. And for the public client, yeah, nowadays people are going for PKC, that proof key for code exchange. So again, that is something secure. Okay, so this is about this theft of authorization code. So yeah, we know, right, what is the theft for that, and then we'll just try to understand for the token also, right? So in the next section. Okay, so if you have anything, please put in the comment section, and let's jump to the next one. Thank you.